I had completely forgotten about the RX-8 until right now. It was the follow-up to one of the greatest looking and driving Japanese sports cars of all time. But what Mazda did is they threw away everything that made the RX-7 so great. The RX-8 has less power, more doors, and more seats. But what it does have, like so many other front engine, rear wheel drive, manual transmission cars, is potential.
In the 23 years since this car was launched in 2003, we've never come to a collective consensus about it. Despite Clarkson calling it sensational and Mazda more than doubling the previous FD RX-7 sales numbers, it was overshadowed by everything else. Just look at values today versus the poster-worthy FD. It was quirky, looked a bit weird, and only had 159 pound-feet of torque from the naturally aspirated rotary engine. It was like following up this with this, but there's an engine swap that'll take care of most of that.
This is so strange, you guys. This is the second car I've driven in the last 12 months where I was surprised at the key fob technology of the time. So this has a key card, not my favorite thing in the world, and Mazda did a lot of things with this car that were maybe not forward thinking, but definitely very strange. But if anything, it left a valuable impression. And I definitely remembered this car for years to come. And then, like I said, I forgot about it for a good decade. Oh, that's nice. Coming hot off the heels of the FD, that's a lot to live up to. I mean, one of the most legendary cars, right? And there are a lot of things, if you're going to build a car like this, and we're gonna talk to Coleman, the owner, in a second, that you kind of have to solve. And one of those, for a lot of people, if you're not a rotary purist, would be the engine. It's a naturally aspirated engine. These cars are not known out of the box to be reliable or good on fuel. You have to solve for that. And one of the ways is, of course, to stick a Honda K-Series in your car.
This is a Honda K24, the 2.4-liter NA inline-4 that was built for transverse-mounted all-wheel or front-wheel drive vehicles like the 2005 Acura TSX that kindly donated this one to be here today. It made 205 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of torque, but as you just heard, a turbo was deemed necessary.
One of the upsides of the RX-8 in factory form is, of course, the 9,000 RPM redline. That's redline. It's a funny trick I've got to play because, yes, the factory redline was 9,000, but of course, K-Series, yes, they do rev high. They don't rev that high. So I believe a factory K24 in an Acura TSX, for example, will rev just past 7,000 RPM. I think we hit like 8 there, but torque is good. Oh yeah, she revs high. The sounds. That is what it's all about. I've only driven one other RX-8 and it was a bone stock car and I drove it around the block. It was not, let's say, a memorable experience per se. There's zero torque below 5,000 RPM. And in certain cars that can work, especially if it's like an E90 M3. Ooh, nice pop out of the exhaust. If it's an E90 M3 or something, you have this sound and you have ultimate power at the top waiting for you. In a factory RX-8, you don't really have ultimate power waiting for you, so. Steering weight's up nicely in the corners though. It actually has a decent amount of feel. That I was not expecting. Even over those bumps. Okay, I cannot tell you how many cars have rubbed over those bumps there. Let's go down to like even 3,000 RPM. Spools up so quickly. When you're in boost threshold, I mean, it's just right there. Boost gauge is telling me 10 pounds. So as far as K24 swaps go, turbo K swaps, very conservative. This is not like blow the doors off fast. It doesn't have an insane amount of torque. If the turbo was to spool up mid-corner, I just don't feel like the car's gonna send me off the road, which is kind of a good thing. It just encourages you, even here, 2-3 minutes behind the wheel, to push it. All right, what's going on? You want to introduce yourself and what you're driving?
Yeah, I'm Coleman. I am a full-time mechanic, and then this is my case-swapped RX-8. The original rotary engine was at 190,000 kilometers, original engine. It was on its way out, so I figured, let's build something faster. Yeah, the case swap kind of crossed my path, and I heard they can handle boost, so that's what I did. I just bought the cheapest one I found and threw it in there. It's bone stock. I just resealed everything and then slapped the turbo on. I wanted to build a budget, fun street car, and yeah, this is where we're at.
What world did you come from before? Like, were you a Honda guy before, a Mazda guy, or neither?
I was always into Miatas. I've had 4 Miatas and then a FC RX-7, so I was always into Mazdas. But yeah, Honda's new to me.
So actually, can you pop the hood real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
You came from an FC RX-7, or you have that in your past.
Yeah.
A lot of guys never leave the rotary world. They become purists, you know?
I never said it was rotary.
Oh, there's a curveball.
I did a 1J swap on it.
Oh, that sounds like a riot, man.
But yeah, this is it. This is the setup.
Wow, still really far back in the chassis, of course.
Yeah, so it looks like a pain in the ass to remove the valve cover or whatever, but you just take out these 2 bolts, and then this whole panel comes off. You take off the cowl there, and then valve cover's off in 10 minutes. I was like, dude, if someone else did it, it's gotta fit. So
yeah.
So I just went for it, and
cool.
Yeah, everything kind of just worked out. I mean,
have you done anything to the fuel system?
Yeah, so fuel system is bigger fuel pump, did a full return setup, and then hybrid racing fuel rail. Yeah, -6 lines, 1000cc injectors.
What's your favorite thing about driving this car?
Okay, I love how the car handles. Like, RX-8s are kind of slept on. Everybody hates on them, which is why I like them, because it's different. I mean, you don't really see clean ones rolling around on the street. Yeah, they're great for track. And then after the swap, it's got to be the turbo noises. Like, turbo noises coming out of an RX-8, and I don't know, nothing beats that. It's just different.
So I don't know if you guys saw, I drove a K24 swapped S2000 last year, and one of the things required for that swap, at least in that particular example, was, I guess, the harmonic balancer had to be removed. So there was so much buzzing going on. It felt like I was stuffed into an Elise or an Exige or something like that. But this is not the case here. There's a good amount of vibration. I'd imagine that wasn't there the same way when the rotary was in there, but it's certainly a car I could still daily drive without question. I know Coleman is saying that, yeah, he could obviously go for more power. He's got the potential to do that. The K24 works so well here because this car is so light, just like in the S2000, although that one wasn't turbo. That's why I don't really feel the turbo spool up, because it's still got adequate torque out of boost. You're not completely lost if you're dailying this car out of boost. This is just a completely different car entirely, but without ruining the balance. I mean, keep it above 4,000 RPM. That turbo is just like, come on, let's spool, back in boost. All right. It's got grip too.
It's only got 255s, but the car never gets upset, even lifting off mid-corner. It just feels natural and easy to drive quickly. This car has also never been on a dyno, but that eBay GT3582 at 10 pounds feels like it's making just over 300 wheel horsepower with a torque curve that would make even a turbo 13B jealous. It just loves the mid-range. There's no hiding from that torque. Yes, VTEC is still here, although not as pronounced. and audibly overwhelmed by these turbo sounds.
And when you pop the hood, the math is there. The engine is exactly where the rotary would be, and it's pushed way back in the firewall. In fact, Coleman was telling me that basically, I mean, you could see it when you pop the hood, he had to chop way into the firewall. He even showed me the steering rack. He lowered the steering rack, so we made a bracket for that. And then because of that, of course, your alignment and the way the suspension travels, especially over bumps, bump steer comes into play, you've got to fix that. So you're kind of almost chasing, or he was chasing a bunch of these, not even issues, but hurdles in the way of actually making this work. What was, give me your first reaction, give me the first 5 minutes behind the wheel after the swap.
I was like, dang, this turbo sounds sick, and it's not as fast as I want it to be. But it's quick, and it's a lot of fun. I got it running and driving. It's not perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's where it's at, and it's 90% complete, and I don't think I'm gonna finish the other 10%. I'm just gonna enjoy it as is.
Just drive it.
Yeah, exactly.
How long did it take you to do this swap?
2 weeks. So I collected all the parts prior. I built the entire wiring harness myself at home. And then I'm fortunate enough to work at a off-road shop that has all the fab tools and everything. So within 2 weeks, I ripped the rotary engine out, threw the K series in there, welded all the engine mounts, all the intercooler piping, everything. And it was my first time welding aluminum and stainless, so that was a huge learning curve. But
on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult would this be to do?
Ooh, that's hard to say. It really depends how committed the person is. But I think if you're starting with the basics, it's a steep learning curve. I'd say it's gonna be like an 8 out of 10. You gotta learn how to read your wiring diagrams. Learning how to weld, that's a whole process. I don't know, understanding like what you have to cut, what you have to patch, and yeah, I'd say it's a 8 out of 10. Like, you definitely need a few years of experience under your belt, not just oil changes. Anyone can do it. I was self-taught, so anyone can do it. I mean, if you're gonna take it to a shop and tell them to build this, I don't know, man. You're gonna be looking at like 30 grand in labor, so.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not, K-swaps are not automatically just cheaper than an RB or a JZ or
something. Yeah, like the cheapest part is the engine, honestly. And then, yeah, everything else adds up. Like I think total, I'm about 12K into just parts. You can see how close everything sits. Like if you look at that pulley.
Yeah, so it's absolutely not just, oh, hey, a company sells a kit online, I can swap it in.
Exactly, like it's 80% custom fab. And then the only thing that's pre-built was the adapter plate to the factory transmission. But it's a really tight package. I mean, you look at here, that's like 1/2 inch to the turbo. You look at the other side, at the throttle body, you got another 1/2 inch to the ABS module.
Wow.
Like this had to be relocated, and like some things I lucked out on, like an S2000 radiator fits in there, and then the RX-8 factory rad fans bolts right up to a S2000 radiator. So like, it's all like trial and error. Yeah, so this is the R3 model. It's different than the base model. It's got the facelift, so different headlights. The bumper is completely different. It comes factory with the side skirts and these sweet Recaros that hold you in pretty nice. Yeah, and then from factory, I think they have Bilstein shocks.
What are you going to use the car now going forward? Just street, track?
Street, and it's been to one drift event, so I want to try to drift it with the K-swap, but mostly just a street weekend car. If you want to dedicate the time to rebuild the factory rotary engine, it's such a fun car to drive. Like, they're super slow. They have Miata energy. Yeah, they're just slept on. They're so cheap, and I feel like it's going to be the next chassis that people are going to start building.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, no worries.
Not really a surprise. The K24 proves once again to just be an incredible swap, especially in a car when you can change it from transverse mounted to longitudinally mounted and keep the same balance that the RX-8 had. Thanks guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't think this is going to be a very polarizing video just because this K-swap it's well done, and it kind of fits the personality of the car. But you guys let me know what you think. You can follow Coleman on Instagram. All his stuff will be in the description, mine too. We'll see you next time.